Three, two, one.
The following Pulpery podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Welcome to the Pulpery Nerdcast with Brock and Ben. This podcast is where we discuss the nerd culture headlines that intrigue us and those minor details that enrage us.
Fear is the mind killer, they say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're just spoilers ahead. We're going to talk about Dune 2
We're gonna
until
out on Dune
until we run out of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where to start with part 2?
I didn't think that anything could top Blade Runner, and it's up there with Blade Runner.
Which version of Blade Runner? The original,
OG
the director's cut,
OG
the
director's
ultimate?
cut. No, not ultimate. OG director's cut. Although I don't know if it had the scene, like Rutger Hauer scene at the end of that movie.
Yeah.
But that's different.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it's up there.
Well, I think
collectively
that goes back to what we were texting back and forth, in that we talk about Nolan kind of being in the vein of Kubrick,
right?
Whereas Denis Villeneuve is like Ridley Scott in his prime.
Yeah, Ridley Scott and James Cameron.
Yeah, I think that's
in their prime.
Yeah,
yeah, and he's fucking killing it. But we saw the cut before it where he was talking about yes, you need dialogue, but maybe less is more with the dialogue because it's all about the everything telling the story with it.
Yeah.
He does that so fucking well.
Well, when they're on the home planet of the Harkonnens, and instead of just having somebody be like, well, maybe they see things in black and white, it's like, well, no, we're just going to show their home planet that is literally black and white.
Yeah, and it was like ink blot fireworks, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
It's just like, God, and it was all in this fucking giant Coliseum, all in black, like that whole scene in black and white.
Yeah, well, and I think...
But, he did it with, the sepia tones in the desert, which is obviously what he's trying to do there.
Yeah, trying to make it look like Mexico.
Yeah. That's. Because
Mexico always has a yellow tint.
Yes. Oh, I know what you're saying. I've watched World Cups in the Azteca.
Even ESPN put sepia tones.
Yeah, and I don't know why. They didn't do it for the Qatari World Cup. Fucking racist motherfuckers. So yes, his cinematography, and I don't know who. I know every movie has a cinematographer.
Yeah.
But the director has a lot to do with that, his style.
Sometimes, but I would say, I think with this one, I mean, he's got a guy that he's like, this is what I want it to look like, and the dude goes, okay.
Okay, I got that. Where did they film it?
That is a good question.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Well, I'm trying to look up the cinematographer, Greg Fraser.
Never heard of him.
He did Rogue One.
Oh. Did he do any of his other movies?
Well, he was the cinematographer on The Batman. The Batman. He was on The Creator.
Oh, he's got a good grasp of that then. Because The Creator was like that too. It was giant, sprawling worlds.
Right, yeah. Wide angle shots all over the fucking place.
Right.
Yeah.
Kubrick used to do everything just still. The camera's going to be here and it's going to be wide and I'm just going to keep it here for a minute.
Yeah, that's all of Barry Lyndon. The camera doesn't move.
Yeah,
and everything's just flat. And
2001 was like that.
Yeah.
Eyes Wide Shut was like that. The only one that wasn't was Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, because that's a war movie. You got to have movement.
Exactly. Okay, so we just went to all that for Dune.
Jesus.
The
guy's done a lot. But yeah,
we'll save Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah,
we'll save him because Rebecca Ferguson. She like
that's your girl right there.
I fucking love that woman. I really do. And she went from like, yeah, she's one of the. She's been trained, but she was so scared. Remember in the first one when she was terrified when Paul had to put his hand in the box.
Yeah.
To this movie, where she's fucking like the high priestess, what amounts to, for.
Well, I saw it
for the.
I saw one of
Fremen.
them. I saw one of the nerd TikToks that I think put it in really, and I'm saying this is somebody who hasn't read the books, but they're like, no, she's the main character, because she's the one operating everything.
And just the next one, wait till.
And her whole thing is to take down the Bene Gesserit.
So, God, I literally just thought about that. So, Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
She was the sister grown up.
Yeah.
She was there for like 2 minutes.
Right, exactly. But like, why would you tease her if you're not going to do Dune Messiah?
Thank you. So we get to see her.
Oh yeah.
Grown up.
Well, and like, and that's the thing is that like, so if the arc or the main visible arc is Paul Atreides, then why not have him end with wandering out into the desert? A la the book, and then like that ends that arc, and then sets up your Children of Dune, which is like a couple of generations later.
It's and I believe they are doing the TV show.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It would have to. The thing is, you wait after. It doesn't matter after Messiah. Yes. So her transformation, just like Paul's, but her transformation. Yeah, it's like she was fighting the Bene Gesserit at first.
Yeah.
Until her daughter.
Right.
Drank the water of life and became way powerful.
Yeah. Once she accepted to, what was that title like?
That's what I'm saying. I called her the High Priestess.
Yeah,
but I don't know
Elder Mother or something like that.
So that was the Fremen and.
But yeah. Once she drank,
just like the bitch who was the.
When she drank the worm jizz, then she was
the water of life.
Yeah.
Which when they showed that, I was like,
that was cool.
Wow, you just drowned that worm and then sucked out its juices.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Whatever its spice and death juice, and drank it. That she created this monster who was just.
The rest of the world doesn't know that yet.
Who was just pushing.
Yeah.
While talking to Rebecca Ferguson. So she's basically playing two characters.
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Fuck, her talking to herself was perfect.
Well, and apparently her original costume was going to have like everything covered up.
No, you can't do that.
And she had to ask Denis Villeneuve, be like, okay, like, and eventually it was like, okay, you have to keep the chains, but you can still.
Yeah, I mean, I was good with the chains and the paint on the face.
Yeah,
I was good with that. But she was still like, I'm on Paul's side. I don't want shit to go south. Like and then,
Then it was like, now we're going to use Paul to get shit done.
And not only that, but we're going to piggyback off of what the Bene Gesserit have doing for Gesserit or Wreck. Bene Gesserit. What they have been working generations toward.
Right.
To get to the Messiah, only because they want to start this holy war.
Right. But it's also but for the, I think it's Bene Gesserit, isn't it?
That's what I'm asking. The Bene Gesserit.
But they're but it seems like from the Charlotte Rampling character, like the elder high priestess,
whoever the high priestess is for the emperor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Charlotte Rampling.
Basically,
she's
the hand of the king at this point. Yeah.
But she's a wonderfully. She does that like stern, like headmistress character so
and
well.
And when he used the voice on her, and all she said was, God, what did she say? She said an abomination.
Yeah.
I was like, this woman is just like She put the fucking pen up to
yeah.
Faid.
Well, I mean, that's always a good performance when you've got maybe like 8 lines.
Yeah.
And you own every scene.
Like
that
you mean
in.
like Elder Skarsgård?
Yeah.
That dude. Whoa.
Well, the part I love. I mean, yeah. I mean, who knew? I mean, he usually either plays like a serial killer or like some kind of goofy. I mean, like Dr. Selvig and shit like that. And then to see him playing just a shit stain of a being, yeah,
yes.
he nailed it. And then with Austin Butler, like in the movie, I kept thinking like
for the other side, but go ahead.
Well, I'm just like
I know what you're gonna say. Say it.
But like in the movie, I kept being like, man, he fucking sounds like Stellan Skarsgård.
He looked like Bill. Bill's the youngest. Bill is Pennywise.
Yeah,
he looked like him.
But apparently, so he went to a vocal training coach.
This guy and
to make him sound like to learn how to speak like Stellan Skarsgård, because he was like, look, this character was raised by him, so he's going to sound like him.
Right, that kid.
And he fucking pulled it off. And a lot of people are making fun of him because they give him the Elvis voice still, but like,
you know, he had to like go to a vocalist to get rid
of the Elvis shit.
Of the Elvis shit. And I wonder, just think what he went through to learn the Chicago accent that we're about to see in a month, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
With fucking Tom Hardy and
it was probably something like Tom Hardy just smacked him and then he could do it.
Come here, kid. Come here, kid. I can't wait to hear him say, but they're scared of us.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But that's like, that's just that subtle level of it where, I mean, I thought it was noticeable, but then to find out, like, it was a conscious acting choice. Like, fuck, dude. Like,
I don't know.
Well done.
What. Yeah, his actors buy in. Like, you could tell when watching a movie, like, they're just there. They're just, like, sleepwalking. Like, Ed Norton in The Italian Job is a perfect example. But no, every single one of them. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying. Every single, like, even Jamis. The dude he killed at the end of the first
one. Yeah.
Jamis.
I love that dude. That dude's the doctor on the new Star Trek series.
Like, even his one scene where he's sitting at the top and he's talking when Paul's going through the desert and he's seeing the demons, like they warned him about. Like, that dude. And then they had another guy who hated him. Like, it's just, they hit every single note perfectly. When Paul shows up to the people who aren't the non-believers, what they call them, the Federalists?
Fundamentalists.
Yeah, just look. Yeah, I said Federalists. God damn it. Go ahead. No, I introduced myself as I don't know the English language. Okay? I just gonna say that. I'm from here.
They wrote the Constitution, yeah.
Well, they were trying to, and then the religious jihad took everyone out for Paul Muad'Dib. No,
they call me Muad'Dib.
Lisak. Yeah. So the Kizak Haderach is the daughter who becomes even more powerful. We'll get to that because that's in the next movie book when Paul has literally wiped everybody out. So I guess, and we haven't even talked on the Harkonnens or the Emperor yet. So yeah, Paul Atreides, young innocent kid to really, really terrible religious leader.
Yeah.
Like, bought into himself.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can get into that at the tail end of the next segment when you can inform us about what is to come.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of something quick that we didn't hit on. I'd say who was it? Was it Hans Zimmer did the soundtrack?
Of course.
That shit was intense.
Yes. It's the chanting, but then he also uses like that weird horn sound that Christopher Nolan like nailed, and now everybody else wants to work on it.
We want to take this time to thank you for supporting the Pulpery Podcast. We are available on all podcast platforms, so please follow us and turn on the downloads. You can always delete them later. If audio's not your thing, we are on YouTube. Check out our page and hit the subscribe button, like our episodes, and share with all your friends. Follow us on all the socials for our latest content, and additional takes on the latest stories and news. If you need a change for your taste buds, go to thegdsauce.com and change the way you think about the way you eat. From their signature goddamn sauce to their ghost pepper sauce, they have everything you need to rethink condiments. Help support an independent business by getting rid of your same old condiments and boss up with the goddamn sauces.
So, real quick, because I wanted to ask this. Their language, the Fremen, what do you think that is? Was it like...
Based on? Or?
Yeah. Because I kept, like, every once in a while I'd be like, oh, no, it's Asian. And then I'd be like, oh, no, it's, like, Arabic.
Yeah.
Or Hindu.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
we're not going to get into the minutiae.
It could be. You know, that would be something interesting to look up, like...
Right.
The language coaches that they had, like, what they were going for. I didn't think of Hindi, but yeah.
And those are the two that I got out of it.
Or maybe they did something like what they thought Sanskrit might have sounded like. Yeah.
Like desert, that's going to sound terrible, but you know, like that Middle Eastern vibe. Okay. It was one
There's
of
a
those,
lot of Arabic in it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That was just one of the other things in my
head. A lot of guttural speaking. Yeah.
Yes, and not. Yeah, they don't drone on like fucking Germans.
Yeah. It definitely wasn't quiet either. Like, oh, hello.
No. It was like you said, guttural.
Look, everybody, it's Paul Atreides. He's riding a worm. I don't understand it.
You saw the video of the dude riding a sandworm through a theater? Yeah. Well done. Whoever you are, you win. Okay, one other thing, just real quick. We touched on it. How many takes does it take them to do the sand and then wipe it down, and only for them to do another take?
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Oh, I thought you found out.
Nope, I fucking did not. I did not. I didn't want to go there, but...
Or they have like 8 dunes set up.
Right.
And there's a crew constantly combing them. And
right.
Maybe in the Spaceballs uniforms.
We ain't found shit! But that's just one of those things that my brain went, fuck, man, they had to do that in one take. Look at their footprints.
Otherwise, like, that's like a third of the budget.
Again, attention to detail.
Yeah.
So, all right. Sorry, the wife just texted.
Yeah.
All right, now we'll move on to the Harkonnen.
Okay.
We haven't touched on. Should we go with just Stiglar being the star of the second movie?
Well, he's not a Harkonnen. He's a Freeman.
I know,
yeah.
But I meant before we go with the Harkonnens. Let's just give him some love. That Harvey Bardem.
Oh, he nailed it.
I don't know if I've seen that man in a bad role.
No. I think the thing that is confusing is you look at, like, he's a big dude. He's got like a busted up face, and he's Spanish.
Yep.
Or he speaks Spanish, so you're going like the language barrier, all that.
And he's said that. He was like, I don't speak good English.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of.
But you're right. Like, he's owned. I mean, he's still one of the greatest villains of all time.
I told you I wrote an article where like a bunch of therapists and psychiatrists and stuff watched like a whole bunch of movies to narrow down like the most evil.
Yeah, and Anton Sugar.
Anton Sugar won. He was the closest to a sociopath, like serial killer that. Yeah.
Anybody's
the most
ever
deviant.
Done. Yeah.
Yes. Think about that. And again, that's subjective. But
and then you go, and you watch enough of his roles, and you're like, well, no wonder he's banging Penelope Cruz.
Yeah,
like,
you're fucking right. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Even when he's finished, he's probably like, "This I keep said, this would happen." I love that man. Okay. Well done, and I am so glad that you are his Peter. Right? Would it be Peter to Jesus?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Peter, right?
Got it. Yeah.
Again, my brain immediately went to like religious text. I've read the book a bunch to know that there's a whole bunch of.
Yeah. But we'll get to that. Yeah.
We will. So the Harkonnens, and they weren't in the movie as much as I expected them to be.
Oh, you mean just like the soldiers or
No,
the
just
family?
In general.
Yeah.
In general. Like, they showed you Batista, Rondon, losing his power, which is fucking hilarious in the book, by the way. And then the introduction to Faid Ratha.
Which it's like I like the departure from the previews, where the previews it just looks like he's this, martial arts madman kind of thing, and then it ends up being like he's just a spoiled rich kid
who has absolutely zero emotion.
Right. Yeah.
Like nothing.
Right. But just like even his gladiatorial fights,
nihilist.
He gets a shield. They don't. They're drugging them like.
And I love how he wanted to fight the Atreidian, whatever you want to call it, the cat from Atreides. Yeah, like they set that whole thing up with the creepy fucking shadow things around. Boy, Austin Butler maximized his time on screen. Yeah. And yeah, the vibe of that character, he yes.
Well, and not that it's fair to compare it because it was a different time and different special effects, but I saw somebody put up where they did comparative scenes from David Lynch's Dune, but they compared the fight, and it was like it, and the weird thing, like in David Lynch's, like you can hear him like grunting, and it's like
no,
and just to show like the improvement that Villeneuve did on it.
I love how Villeneuve took for that fight scene like a static approach again, and it wasn't all like here. It was more like, no, these are two cats fighting, and we're going to film this. Except the intimate parts, like
right? You're right. Things. It was a lot of wide shots,
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But right. to pivot that into old Timmy. Which I will say this, I was pleasantly taken aback. Like I just always kind of viewed him as like, Leo, like, a good looking kid that they put in these roles, but this time around I thought
I was on the you're right. I'll say
he did a good job.
I haven't seen him enough. He was in that movie on Netflix with Jennifer Lawrence, where they all died at the end.
Yeah.
Don't Look Up, and I like that. That was something completely different that I have never seen him do, other than what was he in, Them Lovely Bones or something.
Yeah, or he was also in that like Call Me by My Name, and
yeah, like
he's been in
serious, but as a kid. But you're right, he as nuanced as Paul is in this movie, because the first one is just more like. I can't believe I'm going to say this, like coming of age, like him figuring out what he's supposed to do. It's like Keanu Reeves in the first Matrix.
Right.
Which, if you haven't seen a theme here, it's all the fucking same thing. Star Wars story from Dune, so I'm just saying. Yes, he went from not spoiled brat, but just angsty kid.
Right, to where he's,
now he's been told he's the Messiah by all these people.
But him as an actor, like I felt like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like, when you get into a role like that, like if you are a whiny little bitch, it doesn't carry over. But particularly like when he had the scenes after he drank.
Yeah, I was worried about those.
The worm spooge.
I was worried about those.
That was when I was like, oh, I think he's got this. Like
those were the ones that I was worried about.
Yeah.
When he forces or he realizes it, and his mom's Rebecca Ferguson's in the corner going, finally. Yes, he commands the screen as Paul should in that particular situation. Like he.
Yeah.
So well done. It's a shame that this movie is so early in the year that I don't know how it will do. I mean, it's going to get like all of the cinematography and set design and all that. But actor and actress wise, like...
Well, I will say this as and this might be controversial to some people, but with Timothée Chalamet ascending, what I thought it kind of exposed to me is, I will say this, I'm not going to say, I think the character is not right for Zendaya. Like,
ascending is fantastic word to use at the end.
Where is that she does like a good, young adult. I mean, we've seen that in Euphoria, we've seen that in Spider-Man, and she was fine in the first Dune, but this one where you're supposed to be maturing, and she still is kind of like a teenagey.
I think that's only because...
But that could be the writing of it, or the notes that she got. I think
it's because the character... I mean, she's basically playing off a Stilgar at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like, everybody's pulling... He's trying to pull everybody to, like, the faith, the religious side. Like, this is what he's saying. She's like, that sounds so fucking stupid. But you're right. She comes off a little... I don't want to say naive.
Well, and even too, like, her little...
And don't get it twisted, she was great.
Yeah.
And they have fantastic chemistry.
Her little buddy, though, like, her little friend...
Yes.
That's her, like, sounding board.
Yep.
I thought it kind of outacted her in this.
Well,
or I don't want to say acted, but you know what I mean, like,
She packed a little more punch.
Right.
Right, and I think that might be because...
She had a little more sauce to it, yeah.
Because they put Shanti... like on the razor's edge.
Yeah.
Like, yes, she loves Paul, but also, and she said it several times, he's not a native.
And it might be the character itself, because, like, I mean, she just ends up being his concubine and watches him bang another chick.
Okay, spoiler alert.
We got 2 minutes left.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. She is his concubine.
Yeah.
He does marry the princess, and that's where they end up in Messiah. So... She is literally his concubine.
Right.
But he can't have kids. Or, like, she doesn't want...
I thought they have a kid.
No,
that they name after his dad.
Like, the whole point is, like, he has a hard time having a kid. And, like, she doesn't necessarily want him. Like, whatever. That's in the future. But it's funny you said that. I only say that because...
But isn't somebody poisoning somebody?
We'll stop there. I need to reread the book.
Yeah.
I haven't read that as many times as I've read Dune. Just saying. All right, real quick.
So we'll just chalk it up to the character itself, and also, I mean, you got so much. There's so many people, so much going on in this movie, and so many people rising to the occasion. I mean, she's got a full plate herself, so I'm now coming to her defense.
How about this?
Yeah.
How about this? Christopher Walken playing the Emperor. But he was also just
Christopher Walken.
It was like almost a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah.
But he's the emperor of the known universe. He's like, what are you doing?
But I kind of like I liked it going into his final scene where like he ends up being like a complete bitch and bowing in the end and being like...
You know why? Because the Bene Gesserit has been moving chess pieces for eternity.
And now they put...
Jesus on the throne.
A zealot.
With his own jihad.
Right, with a huge-ass army. And worms.
They are literally, just saying this like in the context of the book, about to wipe out...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if I'm going to open up this can, but it also seems like what like Asimov was going for with like the technology religion.
Yes.
Which I think Herbert was after Asimov.
The following Pulpery podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Pulpery is a privately produced podcast by Brock Ryder and Ben Grimmie. On social media and photography by Beck Ryder. Original music by the Heisenberg Compensators.